The Balfour Declaration 1917 was a monumental moment in history. It laid the groundwork for the mass immigration of Jews to Palestine, a movement fueled by the rise of Nazis in Europe and the subsequent horrors of the Holocaust. But it's important to acknowledge that in the course of these events, Zionist armed groups also perpetrated violent acts of ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian Arab population. Unfortunately, echoes of these crimes against humanity are still felt in the region to this day, with devastating consequences for civilians on both sides. The core problem with Zionism, it treats Palestine as an empty land or a land without people, despite Palestinian and Arab communities having lived there for millennia. These indigenous peoples have roots tracing back to ancient Canaanites, something we'll explore in another video. The Zionist goal isn't just statehood, it's erasure. From rewriting history textbooks to denying refugee rights, it aims to make Palestinians vanish from their own homeland. This is why every major violation of international law, like Gaza sieges or settlement expansions, is about more than territory. It's about making sure no one remembers they were ever there at all. Israel exists, and millions of Palestinians live under occupation, faced with daily erasure, settlement expansion, denial of refugee rights, and systemic violence. Now imagine a different world. What if there was no Jewish state in Palestine? Instead, a Jewish homeland established somewhere like Wyoming, which today has fewer than 1 million people and only 2.5% are Native American. Here's how history diverges without Arthur Balfour. George Curzon becomes British Foreign Secretary instead of Arthur Balfour. Curzon is committed to the British Empire's stability and regional influence, even at the cost of Jewish Zionist interests. Consequences: Curzon never authors the Balfour Declaration, a pivotal document that endorsed Zionism as a path to establishing a Jewish state in Palestine. In this alternate timeline, Arthur Balfour never becomes British Foreign Secretary. Instead, George Curzon takes the position, a man that political Zionism would destabilize the Middle East and damage Britain's wartime interests. In this alternative scenario, these key factors change the course of history. The British War Propaganda Bureau diminishes the benefit of Zionist lobbying, ranking Zionist leaders as low-priority contacts. Stronger British cooperation emerges, with Arab leaders demanding assurances against a Jewish national home. A rival Zionist faction discredits Chaim Weizmann, diminishing the Zionist cause and preventing him from gaining prominence. Due to these developments, the Balfour Declaration of 1917 is never issued, and the future of the Middle East follows a distinctly different path. Between World War I and World War II, the United States experiences a stronger and earlier anti-Semitism movement. A major cultural shift occurs by the 1930s-40s. Jewish Americans are widely viewed as model citizens, helped by the rise of prominent Jewish figures in politics, science, and the military. In this timeline, the Nazis are less successful in the war, leading to an earlier liberation of a concentration camp by Allied forces, potentially as early as late 1943 or early 1944. The horrifying images captured in these camps reach Congress soon afterward, prompting a strong reaction from Roosevelt and later from Truman. This results in the Holocaust being foregrounded as a key moral cause of the war, garnering significant attention and support from the US leadership. Because the Balfour Declaration never happened, there is no Jewish homeland in Palestine, leaving a political vacuum the United States is compelled to fill after World War II. US refugee policy. Between 1945 and 1948, America opens its doors to 500,000, 1 million Jewish refugees fleeing Europe. Post-war politics, Republicans and Democrats compete fiercely to be seen as moral leaders. The civil rights movement gains momentum earlier with stronger bipartisan support. In this climate of unity, a bill proposing an autonomous Jewish homeland within US borders emerges, a unifying cause comparable in spirit to the GI Bill. This project isn't about conquest abroad, but integration at home, offering displaced communities dignity through self-governance on American soil. In our alternate timeline, Wyoming's population is impacted harder by the Great Depression, with mass migration to industrial states. This leaves large portions of the state economically inactive. The sparse population makes the state's vast lands and resources underutilized. In this alternate timeline, Wyoming's political leadership perceives an opportunity with the Jewish homeland proposal. Rather than feeling sacrificed, they view the project as a catalyst for transformation. The influx of Jewish refugees brings financial support from the federal government for infrastructure development, paving the way for a more advanced, progressive Wyoming. The state's leaders envision a future not as a sacrifice but as a means to elevate Wyoming from economic dormancy to a thriving, modernized region in tune with the world. The constitutional amendment establishing the Jewish state within Wyoming contains several key provisions. 1. It formally creates a Jewish autonomous republic within the United States, distinct from its surrounding state of Wyoming. 2. The Republic is granted the right to full internal self-governance of its legal and financial matters, including the establishment of a legislature and legal institutions. 3. The Autonomous Republic holds the right to determine its own immigration policy as its national right, opening the door for significant Jewish resettlement. 4. The territory enjoys a protected legal status as a permanent homeland for the Jewish people. Alongside the creation of the Jewish Autonomous Republic, the amendment guarantees certain provisions: the establishment of permanent U.S. military bases within the autonomous territory, ensuring military presence and security; dual citizenship: all residents automatically gain dual citizenship, retaining U.S. citizenship alongside citizenship of the Jewish Republic. Foreign policy remains under the jurisdiction of the federal government, maintaining control over diplomatic ties and international relations in Washington. In this alternate timeline, Christian Zionism gains great traction domestically, but with a distinct focus: endorsement of the Wyoming Jewish homeland as a moral duty. The amendment's bipartisan backing is strengthened by Christian Zionism, which regards it as a patriotic quest and a biblical commitment. The American media presents the project as the United States' answer to genocide, linking the initiative to other historic nation-building achievements like the Tennessee Valley Authority dams or the interstate highway system. The project is not merely seen as humanitarian, but rather a pivotal, nation-defining moment. In this timeline, Mandatory Palestine experiences a second major Arab revolt in 1948, this time overwhelming Britain's already weakened post-war administration. The unrest forces the British to accelerate their withdrawal. Palestine gains independence as a unitary semi-presidential republic with Jerusalem as its capital. With no Zionist project and no competing claims over land, the Arab-Israeli wars never materialized. No 1948 war, no Six-Day War, no intifadas. The Middle East in this timeline is significantly less militarized than in reality, even though there remains unrest. Despite the reduced tensions, key dynamics persist. 1. The US maintains a tense stance towards Iran. 2. The Iraq War and the Afghan War still occur due to geopolitical reasons, albeit with potential alterations given the altered regional dynamics. 3. The broader Cold War era power struggles continue, shaped by the absence of certain conflicts, yet driven by the familiar ideological divisions of capitalism versus communism and America versus its political adversaries. In this alternate path, Palestine achieves its rightful independence as an Arab-majority state, developing a unique political system, part democracy, part authoritarian, mirroring the experiences of other former colonies. Economically speaking, Palestine faces the typical challenges of a developing nation, from infrastructure and resource gaps to institutional corruption and unequal socio-economic development. Over time, cultural connections deepen, leading Palestine to join the European Broadcasting Union and compete in the iconic Eurovision Song Contest, representing a new chapter of regional and musical collaboration. Today, the Republic of Israel in Wyoming has grown into a vibrant nation within a nation, now populated by about 12 million people, a stark contrast with its current count of under a million. This demographic boost alters the U.S. population landscape. The Autonomous Republic, founded in the 1940s, boasts extensive self-governance, with a locally elected prime minister handling domestic affairs while symbolically led by a national president. Washington maintains control over diplomatic relations and defense, but day-to-day affairs are determined by Israelis themselves. Over the decades, the Republic of Israel in Wyoming has transformed the region through extensive urbanization. The Republic boasts a robust social democratic welfare state with universal health care, expensive public transportation, modern infrastructure, free college education, and robust labor protections, all upheld through strong trade unions. With its commitment to social equity, this nation within a nation offers a high quality of life, from healthcare to public education, rivaling that of Canada. Politically, the Republic of Israel functions like a Western European social democracy, with the dominant Zionist Labor Party positioned to the left of US Democrats but non-Marxist. The absence of conflict with Arabs in Palestine, no wars, no Nakba, leads to normal or even friendly relations between Wyoming's Jewish Republic and independent Palestinian state. No historical trauma or territorial disputes poison ties. Their relationship resembles that between neighboring democracies rather than rival nations. In this timeline, independent Palestine maintains generally pro-Western ties while maintaining its autonomy. Despite Western support, Palestine's actions in various conflicts show political independence. It provides humanitarian aid to Ukraine after the 2022 Russian invasion, supporting a liberal democratic cause. While doing so, Palestine also condemns the US invasion of Iraq, opposing a US foreign policy decision. This balance of strategic alignment and independent stance highlights the new republic's agency in global affairs. That is gonna be it for this video. Sorry that it's been a month since I last uploaded. If you think this scenario isn't realistic, or you think that this modern-day Republic of Israel within Wyoming would be different, or if you hate me for making this video, let me know in the comments. Subscribe. Peace.